Now, before I was so rudely interrupted as usual, because that tends to happen every time I start to film a video, it's just fate. That's all. It is fate that whenever I film, someone wants to interrupt me. As I was saying, you mostly I have watched the show for Jada Pinkett Smith, right? Because I don't know who the hell Fish Mooney was, but if you're a comic book fan, you can tell me who the hell she is because she definitely ain't been in no Batman comics that I've read. But I also haven't read a Batman comic in almost 10 years or better. Whenever the death of Superman happened, because you had to get like a whole bunch of crossover titles for A Funeral for a Friend. Then they came out in the big trade books. I feel really fucking ripped off. Same thing with Death of Superman. You know. Anyway, moving on. So, in the spirit of all things comic book, it pays to have some knowledge of these guys before you up and decide that you want to watch the show. However, if you're just watching the show with no comic book knowledge at all, spoiler alert, don't watch the video that came before this because it'll fuck you up. But the whole point is, for TV shows that are based in comic book reality, DC and Marvel both have been holding it down. Of course, Marvel's timelines are a little fracked up, but we're going to go to Marvel in a minute. Right now, we're on DC. So, in the spirit of all things that I was saying before the phone call came in and totally screwed up my damn video, the whole thing is that, you can't look at these shows with your knowledge of comic books. You have to look at them with no knowledge of comic books or you're not going to enjoy the shows. I personally thoroughly enjoy the shows. But the thing is, like I said, you can't look at it with comic book eyes. You have to look at it with just TV eyes and go for it. Now, as far as Arrow is concerned, a lot of Arrow stuff is Batman's life. So, sorry if that spoiled your fucking day. Doesn't mean the show is not good. It just means that half the shit that Oliver Queen is doing isn't 1,000% Oliver Queen. More like 95.5% Bruce Wayne. However, when this show came out, the Gotham was probably in the works, so they probably couldn't do it. So they picked the only other non-superpowered human in the DC universe, and it be Oliver Queen. Now I'm sure they probably dabbled with like, let's maybe do the question, or let's do somebody some people don't know so that we can bring them into the fold, which sometimes works and sometimes it does not. So you kind of have to go with the flow on that. And for those who can't, you don't. But anyway, so we can get ready to get to Marvel. I wanna drop this. All right. So when you're watching these shows, again, you can't watch them with comic book knowledge because it will fuck you up. Simple as that. The thing is that, when it comes to these shows, I'm often worried if the writers and directors actually read comic books before they decide, hey, let's turn this guy into this TV show that we want it to be. Doesn't mean the show's going to be bad. Just means that fans of the comic character are going to be a little bit set back. It's like, okay, this didn't happen. And I found myself doing that a lot. God, that baby oil on my forehead is right shiny. Anyway, I found that happening more often than not, but mostly with Arrow. But that does not take away the fact that the show is a good show. No, I'm not getting paid to promote them. Just giving you my context of my intel. Anyway, now, as far as Legends of Tomorrow, awesome fucking show. And it was good. Flash's comeback is good.
Supergirl was great. You know, so they were good shows. Now, here's the shows I can't review because I don't have Netflix. I can't review The Punisher, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist, and The Defenders. So that should tell you that Marvel's doing it up on Netflix. However, the Marvel shows I can say, I can talk about The Gifted. Legion is supposed to be coming back. Marvel's Inhumans are doing pretty well. If you're not an Inhuman fan, you should probably do your research and then don't watch it with doing your research. Just watch the show. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. hopefully will be back soon. I can't wait for it because I'm like chopping at the bit to see what's going to happen with them. And then, you know, to watch these shows, it is better to not know anything about these characters. And I'm only saying that because I am a comic fan, and the changes they've done to the characters or how they are presented is not the actor's fault. It's just the way that the show is written, so you kind of have to just go with it. And that can be a pain in the ass if you're a comic book fan. I'm not so much an Inhumans fan for the comics because the most powerful Inhuman is a good fighter. He's supposed to have a telekinetic bond with his wife or telepathic bond, so because she speaks for him in the ways of the show doesn't seem to show that. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that, but hopefully they'll incorporate that. But anyway, that and then you know, they have Lockjaw down packed. So everybody who's ever watched Inhumans, most people only remember Lockjaw if you ever read the comics, because he's like that giant fucking dog that can do damn near anything. He just teleports, but he's cool. Anyway, freaking my Marvel shows seem to be kicking into high gear, so I'm gonna kick in and only talk about the only one that I've been able to watch so far, which has been The Gifted. However, The Gifted comes on Fox just like Gotham, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, how the hell did Fox get Gotham if Gotham is a DC show and the CW doesn't have it? But hey, Fox has it, and Gotham's doing well. So, because they incorporated the Dark Knight finally. So, now that we got that out of the way, let's get back onto The Gifted. Now, I rewatched the episode of The Gifted from the second episode, whenever the hell it came on, which I think was Monday. So apparently it's John Proudstar instead of James Proudstar, so it's Thunderbird. So since Thunderbird's origins are really short, I guess they're trying to get everyone used to him, and Blink's in it, and it's the same Blink from Days of Future Past. So they pretty much know that she's gonna make it unless something goes wrong in the timeline. And we know that John's gonna make it, unless in the movie Days of Future Past it was actually James and not John. But anyway, so I'm not expecting any specific cameos from any specific actors, but I will say, from what I seen of The Gifted on Monday of this week, it was pretty good. Can't wait for tomorrow to see how they're gonna play this shit out. But anyway, so that there's not a big clusterfuck of what's going on. I'm a little confused on the Strucker family and the Strucker clan because of the simple fact that, if memory serves me right, in the comic book, Von Strucker was one of the guys who helped create the Sentinels. Now, I could be wrong there. I'll have to Google it because it's been a long time since I picked up an X-Men book. I haven't picked up an X-Men book since 2010, and I haven't bought one since 2010, as a matter of fact. And then I just got the X-Men versus Inhumans. I haven't read the damn thing yet. I still have to read it. I think I have episode 0, or issue 0, whatever you want to call it. But, for the record, let it be stated right here, right now, that Image was the first comics to start doing issue 0 to my knowledge. Now, I could be wrong, and if you got something that can show me a different issue 0, then that's fine. Because the first issue 0 I ever had was Wildcats, issue 0. And then I still can't find Youngbloods, issue 0, and I can't find Stormwatch, issue 0, and I couldn't find Cyberforce, issue 0. But Image, when they first came out, they all had issue 0s. I can't even find Spawn issue 0, but I know that it does exist. Anyway, as I close this video out, I want you guys to know that when you are watching these shows, the less comic book knowledge you have, the better the show. The more comic book knowledge you have, the more confused you'll be. So watch it with new eyes. and then enjoy the show. I'm James Wilson. You just come back with number 2, B, C, and U.